This is Judd for Boxing Social. We're here in Manchester for the Natasha Jonas and Marie-Eve Carey weigh-in. Delighted to join by Matthew Macklin. Look, first of all, Matt, been a while. How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad at all. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. First of all, with you, the arena Saturday night. How many times did you box in Manchester?
Oh, I don't know. I'd say 7 or 8 at least.
5 times I've got as a professional. 5 times, yeah. Saturday night. A mix of great domestic fights and a huge main event. Natasha Jonas and Marie-Eve Carey. Huge fight.
Yeah, big time. And I think Natasha's really on a roll, this year. Moved up in weight to become world champion. But I know she could move back down if the opportunities came. Assuming she wins tomorrow night, there's lots of big fights out there for her. There's Clarissa Shields could come down in weight, but also Michaela Mayer could move up in weight, especially that she lost to Alicia Baumgardner. Doesn't look like that rematch is happening that she wanted, and she's big at the weight. I know she struggles, so she could definitely move up and challenge Natasha. And with the top-ranked Sky deal and boxer, that's a fight that's realistically could happen.
I mean, another fight that's been mentioned, Katie Taylor. Again, arguably, Natasha was the closest one to beat Katie as a professional.
Yeah, I mean, look, Katie's 35, I believe now. I think they're very much focused on trying to secure the Amanda Serrano rematch at Croke Park. So they're probably looking at that really. Why I mentioned Michaela Mayer is because I'm thinking you've got to look at the fights that are probable, that are realistic, that can get made. And with Top Rank and Sky having a deal, with Boxer and Sky having a deal, that's a fight that you would think shouldn't be too difficult to make.
And in the UK, I'd have thought with that one.
UK or the US, either or, it's a fight that could get made. But it's a big fight between two really good fighters that have got big profile, and that could be a massive fight.
With this card in particular, there's some great domestic fights in there. That Brad Ray, that English title and British title eliminator. I think that's a great fight. Good route to go through as a professional.
Look, some of the best fights you see, competitive fights, are British title fights, even English title fights, because they get mandated. So they're not hand-picked. Sometimes you get voluntary defence, but it's still got to be a voluntary defence. There'll be a handful that you can pick from. But when it's mandated, that means you've got to fight each other. It's been forced upon you by the Board of Control. So that's why you get a lot of really good. Some of the best fights we see are British title fights, and also English title fights. So, Brad Ray, Tyler Denny, that's going to be a good fight. You just know that there's going to be fireworks in that fight. Dalton Smith against Casey Benjamin, that's going to be a good fight. I think again Dalton Smith's a favourite, but he's going to have to produce the goods to win that.
I think this weekend as well, we'll finally see a matchup fit for Fraser Clark as well. Unfortunately, Sky haven't been able to get the right fighters for him, but Saturday night, it's a big test.
Yeah, definitely. Experienced guy. He's boxing. He's been in there with a lot of people. He's sprung the odd upset here and there. It's a bit of a yardstick. It's his first probably little mini test, but Fraser's been in. How many times did he box Joe Joyce in the amateurs? I don't know how many fights he had in the WSB. They're like 5 3-minute rounds against other top fighters that 50-50 fights. So Fraser's a lot more experienced in boxing than his professional record suggests. And he's pushing on in Father Time, so he needs to crack on with his career. It's been unfortunate. He's had injuries. I've been frustrated for him, so I can only imagine what it must have felt like for him. But I do feel, look, this is a good test. It's a good opponent for the lack of experience Fraser's had as a professional. I think he'll get some rounds, and it'll be a good fight. It's a good fight for him. But after coming through this, Boxer really needs to push him now.
Yeah, because he did spend a heck of a long time in the amateurs at GB, so perhaps he could have gone pro much earlier. So I agree with what you're saying. He really needs to crack on, and Saturday should be a big test for him. But moving on from that as well, Adam Azim, the partnership or deal, long-term deal with Sky Sports Boxer, is he a real star for the future, Matt?
I think so. From what we've seen so far, I mean, he's beaten guys that you'd expect him to be. But he's done it. He's done it in style, and he was a very, very decorated young amateur, and he's turned pro young. But he's in a really thriving gym. Shane McGuigan's becoming a very experienced coach now. He started young, so even though he's young in life, he's experienced as a boxing coach. With Frampton and all the way through that. So he's been in some big fights, big camps. Akoli, it's a buzzing gym, isn't it? And success breeds success. So, I haven't seen him in the gym, but I've heard the stories of him, how well he's looked in sparring. So. I think he's got a very bright future. Yeah,
there's always been talk around him. He was at Pinewood Star, the young amateur, and I remember being around him and so much talk going on. But yeah, another piece of news in terms of boxer, Liam Williams and Smith-Eubank Jr. Smith, sorry.
Yeah, Liam Smith. No, exactly. I mean, Liam Williams was their mutual opponent.
Sorry, yeah.
That's fine. But no, great fight. Just said it to Razza before. That's a fight that I think it cannot be anything other than a brilliant fight. I think they've both got good chins. Liam Smith's got a great defence as well. Eubank Jr.'s defence maybe isn't quite as good, but he's got a really solid chin, and he's super fit. Both of them are brilliant at doing the 12 rounds. I think that'll be a high action fight. I think it'll be I could go 12 rounds. That could be a 12 round ding dong.
Yeah, well, that's why Liam Smith moved to boxer, because that's the fight he always wanted, and this is a fight that now can be made.
Do you know what? That could be. I don't want to.
You're gonna give me my title in this now.
I could see that fight being brutal. I can see the Liam Smith-Eubank fight being a brutal fight. I think that'll be 12 rounds, and I can see it being brutal.
The main event of another promotional team for Saturday night is Ricky the Hitman Hatton. Now, you've been against the YouTube stuff, but this exhibition you're in favour of.
Yeah, I don't mind this. This is different. These are two former greats that are coming back. Maybe retirement's tough for fighters. It's giving him for Ricky. I'm just following him on Instagram and different things, and I've seen him down at the show we did in the O2 a month ago, and it's given him a bit of purpose, I guess. It's given him a goal. It's something to focus on, and he's whipped himself into fantastic shape. He lost all that weight, and they're wearing 16-ounce gloves. They know it's an exhibition. They know each other. They're friendly. I'm fine with that. I think it serves a purpose. I think people will want to see it. I think people are genuinely happy to see that it's got Ricky into a better place mentally.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, and Ricky's been very vocal. When I've spoken to him, I've been fortunate to have a couple of sit-downs with him. That's the main message which has come out of this, is how well it's done for his mental health, the routine of being in the gym and training again, and perhaps maybe with Mayweather saying that he'd like to come to the UK next year, that could be a fight. If Saturday goes well, we could see that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that interested in that. I think I think it serves its purpose as a one-off, to get him into shape, and hopefully stays in shape now. That what he's done these last few weeks, hopefully he can maintain that, because
Is that the fear? If let's say Saturday night again, you get a huge sense of adrenaline with being back in the ring, and you come right down again. Is that a fear in your mind?
Well, look, what goes up must come down. He will be on a high on Saturday night. It will be on a high, and Tuesday, Wednesday, is he going to be on a low? Possibly, but then hopefully he can just balance it back out and just live a balanced life, I guess. Fulfilled life, a content life, and training something he's done his whole life. So I think the fact that he'd probably let himself go a little bit, but this has given him a focus, a goal, and now it's just about trying maintaining that lifestyle. Over in
Dubai, Deji's fighting Mayweather. Just get your thoughts on that one, mate. It's an odd fight to say the least, isn't it? Really, mate. I'm not ever going to watch something like that. But again, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I'm not mad about them. Like I said, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, one off. Both of them got in shape. I get it. He ticked the box. Happy days. Same with this one. Barrera, Ricky, they're friends. 16-ounce gloves. It's a spar, an exhibition. but they've got themselves into great shape. A lot of positives for that. I get it, but I don't see. You know, once you've done it, you've done it. You know, then if you keep doing it, are you using it to fill a gap? You need to. You know, retirement's tough, but you have to find a place of contentment with yourself and life. You know, you can't rely on boxing forever. You know, it's a part of our lives, but we have to move on to another chapter.
You mentioned Roy Jones Jr. He came out and said he's willing to train Anthony Joshua. Anthony's taking a time out back in 2023. I agree with that sense, but what do you make of that partnership?
I don't know really. You know, he's been with Rob McCracken a long time. He tried something new for the Usyk rematch. And I thought probably it worked. You know, it freshened things up, maybe fresher conversations, different mindset, different, mental approach, different way of training. And I thought it was better. I thought it was improved in the Usyk rematch. It'd be a shame, I think, to not try and build on that now. You know, because the hardest part going with a new trainer is the freshness of it, doing new things, you know, trying new things, getting used to the environment, getting used to the personality, all that type of stuff. So to kind of uproot and move on to another one, and you got to go through that process again. I'd rather him kind of go back with Robert Garcia and try and build on that. There is discussions. There's always discussions with every fight, but possible for AJ Wilder. Is that a fight you can see happening in next year? I know he's possibly going to be out with either Dillian Whyte or someone like that, but Wilder's a possibility maybe. Look, if Anthony Joshua fights Dillian Whyte and beats Dillian Whyte, and Deontay Wilder beats Andy Ruiz, and by the way, neither of those are foregone conclusions. You know what I mean? It could be Ruiz and
I really do love Ruiz, I'll be honest.
So you don't know what could happen in those two fights, but assuming it was Joshua and Wilder that came through, they could definitely fight each other. Or any of those four could fight each other. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're top tiered heavyweight contenders. So whoever's victorious in both those two fights, it's a no-brainer really to fight each other, unless of course the WBC mandate the winner of Wilder and Ruiz gets to fight Fury if Fury beats Chisora.